Over the last few days, leading into the new year, all the headlines in most newspapers, sports newspapers, at least in England where I am, and I'm sure it's the same where you are, have been focused on this boy, Romelu Lukaku of Chelsea. It was an interview. It was a reaction to an interview he gave to Italian media, saying all sorts of things. And a lot of questions, a lot of analysts have come forward wondering, why did he say it? What made him say it? What was his motivation? What drove him into saying it? And the headlines have been full of Romelu Lukaku. Then the climax. On the eve of the game, a very important league game involving my Chelsea Football Club, manager dropped him. Understandably, I would say. But, story for another day. I think I've dealt on that one a little bit. Then we could have done with him at that game, I tell you. However, game's done. And then it simmered. Then manager says, okay, everybody calm down. I'm going to have a word with Romelu Lukaku. We're going to talk things through. And they did. He came forth and apologized. He apologized for what he did. He apologized for the comments he made. He preferred and made himself open that he was indeed a fan of Chelsea Football Club. And all seems forgotten and forgiven by many. Social media can be really cruel though, because it makes it so hard for people to actually forgive. Oh my God. Thousands, within minutes of his apology, thousands of reactions, many still unforgiving, a few were okay. Personally, I forgive him. A few goals down the line, if he scores a little bit more than our highest goal scorer last season, he'll become a legend to me, especially if we can win something. I hope it's the same with many Chelsea fans as well. However, now this is where I drop my Chelsea shirt and become human. Because in all the sagas surrounding Romelu Lukaku last week, a lot was said. But I was a bit concerned because not a single TV channel that I saw, and you can correct me if I was wrong, or if I'm wrong rather, not a single TV channel actually touched on that issue that I always talk about, mental health. No analysis of his mental health. No psychologist, no mindset analyst, no psychiatrist came forth to talk about Romelu Lukaku's mental health in all this saga. Now, on my platform, I have come here and spoken a few times about the impact of coronavirus on our mental health, the isolation, the changing lifestyle patterns and everything, social patterns, social distancing, all that rubbish that's now going around in our world, and the impact of it on our mental health. Now look at this. Romelu Lukaku comes into Chelsea, has got a big price tag on him, £98 million. Do you know, a couple of days ago, Southampton Football Club, a whole football club in the Premier League, was bought for £100 million. That was only £2 million more than the cost of one player at Chelsea. That's how big the price tag is on Lukaku. So he comes in, loads of expectation. He wasn't firing in as much cylinders as much as he would have wanted to. Then he gets injured. Then he gets COVID. Then he had to go into isolation. Then, of course, he gave the interview, the unfortunate interview. And here we are. His mental health is also quite important. I'm not standing up for him. I was very angry as well. I couldn't understand why he would say some of the things he said when he was actually a preferred and a confessed Chelsea fan. But mental health is important. Mental health is real. Mental health is something that we really have got to get to grips with and handle and try very hard to help ourselves through it. It brings the worst out of the best people, if not handled well, and it can bring the best out of the average, if handled properly. And I wish Romelu Lukaku is quite lucky. I'm sure he's got a great support network around him because he's a high earner, he's a superstar, and he can afford it. But mental health also affects you, and me. And how do we deal with it? How do we deal with mental health issues when they come to us? Now here's my problem. I would like you to actually sit down and reflect and articulate where you think that you have got a mental health issue, be it to sustain something that you already have or to go grab something that you haven't got yet. Then contact me, because I'm here to help, because I'm here watchful of the impact of every step of your way in mental health in order to guide you to your wins. Contact me, my phone number, my WhatsApp group, or my Twitter page, and I'll be here always to help you, because helping you helps me. So we'll help each other, basically. Little digression. In a couple of days, the biggest flagship tournament in African football will be starting, the Africa Cup of Nations. For many who grew up in my generation, it was this tournament that actually launched us into the knowledge and awareness of international football and our football players. So it's a biggie. It's a really big one. And I will be here more often than I usually have been to analyze, to talk about various things concerning the AFCON. Performances, players, coaches, even refereeing, and the organization and administration. Can't promise to be here every day, because man's got a lot to do now. But I will be here. Until I see you then, because that will be the next time you see me, please keep an eye out for each other and protect your mental health. Nobody writes it on their forehead saying, I've got a mental health issue. So you won't see it. But just be there and ready to be supportive of each other through mental health. You need it. I'm going through it at the moment, and I need your support, and I'm sure that you could do with mine as well. Till I see you again, subscribe to me, let me hear from you, and keep your chin up. Cheers.